Hello everybody, welcome to this TAM Lab session. This is TAM Lab 93 for EMEA. Today we're going to be speaking to Javier about Workspace ONE and managing updates for Windows 10. So Javier's been with VMware for 3.5 years and he's one of our senior technical account managers based out of Spain. Just a quick reminder that TAM customers can obviously submit ideas, so please do reach out to your TAM. And if you have any sessions that you'd like for your TAM to facilitate or to set up, please reach out and Tina and I can get that set up for you. So with that, thank you very much and over to you, Javier. Thank you.
Thank you. Then let's start. In a standard Windows deployment, you will be using WSUS to update, and this will let you with this model deployment. Basically, Workspace ONE approach the deployment in a different way. Basically, I will have a couple of slides explaining how this works, and then we will go into how to target release a release and unlock the windows in that release. As you can see, you will have a process when the patch is tested with WSUS, and then it will enter into production. With Workspace ONE, we approach this in a different way with a testing and validation, different rings, and then the reboot will be required later with a no-go scenario if the patch is not validated. How this process works basically will be explained on this slide, and here we will stop a bit. How this works: after you configure it a PC in a Workspace ONE the PC will query the updates to the Windows Update server that will respond to the PC with the list of KBs or available patches. These patches will be reported to the Workspace ONE VM. Workspace ONE VM will request to Windows Update server the metadata information, basically what the PC reports to the Workspace ONE VM cannot be human written. This will be translated with the metadata information exchange between Windows Update and Workspace ONE VM. Then we will update the information with intelligence if you have it. Intelligence will correlate that information with available vulnerabilities. This will go back to intelligence that will show you critical patches to be updated if you have it. If not, it will keep everything in UM. You can accept the updates over intelligence or directly on the UM. In this lab, we will not use the intelligence part. Basically, I was not able to set up and do the amount of time that we have. This will involve completely another TAM lab if needed. After the updates are approved on the UM, they are sent to the PC and the PC will update. Okay. Important things to know. We have 4 different ways to block the updates. We have the deferral, post updates, target release version, where we will focus in this lab, and the require approval that we will use it also on this lab. Basically, what we will do is lock Windows in different versions. I started in 1903 and upgraded until 20H2. By locking each of them on that release and not allowing them to update, you will see it further in the lab and on the next slides. One important thing to know is that if you are enrolling a PC that already ran Windows Update, you will need to clean up the Windows Update service. This can be done with a sensor. This code is available publicly in our Touchstone. And basically what we'll do is clean up the Windows registry and restart the Windows Update service, leaving the PC ready to use the Windows Workspace ONE VM. Another important point will be this space, free space available on the PC. Basically, if you have less than 20 gig, I will say 25. Some updates will fail, especially I encounter many issues with the 2004 update not being installed because it has not enough space to download it, to it started to install because it has enough space, but then failing and disappearing. I was not able to reproduce the second issue, but I suffered it with a customer already. So keep an eye on the disk space when you are doing this, because it requires a lot of space, especially 2004. This should be, as far as I know, Microsoft will be releasing another patch that will fix this, preventing to install the update if you have not enough space. But for the moment, there is that issue running. It's also an old release. It's the 2004. It is already 1 year old, but my customer is using 1903 as baseline, and I suffered that issue when upgraded. How we can achieve this? Basically, we will need to add two registry keys: target release version that tells the system on which release needs to stay, and target release version provider set that is telling the operating system that Workspace ONE is managing the system. Okay, these two keys are needed in order for this to work. There is several ways to add these keys via sensor, CSP, Intelligent Hub. The sensor way is really useful because it will be running each hours, around each 6 hours will be running. So it will be putting again these register keys into the system. I choose to use the Intelligent Hub way just because I don't have currently a Workspace ONE Intelligence. And there is a big warning, 20H0 cannot be installed via CSP right now. That's why I also use Intelligent Hub. This should be fixed by another patch by Microsoft, and it's already documented, and Microsoft is working into it. How we can achieve this? We will use a custom setting when creating the profile. We will put there the code that we will see it right now in more detail, and basically this will create the two keys when adding a VM. Okay, let's have a look on the code. It's really simple. We are telling the system what we want to do. Is a registry operation where we want to put the keys. In this case, in Microsoft Policy Manager current device update. There we will be adding two registry keys, the target release version with the data, in this case 1909. I have 4 different profiles created, type string, and the target release version that is always a D word with the data 1. Nothing else. Also, we will need to update, to create a Windows Update profile. There is a lot of options to be configuring there. I choose to put to pause all the updates, require their approval, and update over Windows Update systems. This is basically to force my system to update. If your customer is using WSUS, you can sync also to the on-premise WSUS, but with the times that we are living right now, I do not see the point to use the WSUS because most of my customers at least are working from home, and it's better to force them to update to Windows Update to save one ditch with the VPN, because if not, it will be overwhelmed basically. After we enroll the device, you will see the updates appearing on the updates tab. You can see there that there is many updates already that they are not approved. They are waiting to be approved. You can approve them manually or by assigning a ring or a smart group. This is the way to approve a single update. Is you go to the device, click on updates, select the desired update, and click on approve. This will be pushed to the system and it will be installed. If you want to update different hosts and different updates, you need to go to the customer OG. That's important. This only works at a customer OG level. It does not work on a container OG level. You go to device, updates, Windows. You can select the different updates that you want to update and assign them to a smart group. Those devices in the smart group will get those updates approved and start to installing them. There is a few useful links that you can use. Basically, our tech zone has a really long tutorial how to manage updates with Windows 10. Also, Brooks Pepin and Mike Nelson are using have both blogs about this subject. Mike Nelson has a great blog about how to create registry values, and the blog from Brooks Pepin explains completely how to do the feature upgrade control. But basically, you will see everything now on the lab. And now let's go to the lab. Okay. I will be changing to the first thing. James, can you see my VMware Workstation?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Then let's go to our first guest. This is a clean Windows operating system. Okay, it does not contain any information. Let's enroll it. Let's jump to the Workspace ONE so you can see it. James, please tell me if you cannot see the Workspace
Yeah,
ONE, or because
sure
I will
can.
be jumping back and forward to one to another. You can see that the VM is already enrolling. And
Yep.
as soon as it finishes, yeah, it finished already. I agree. And we refresh the view. You can see the VM here. That VM has no tag assigned. I am using tags to assign the different profiles because it's the way I want it, basically. And I like it. We have here different profiles created right now. You can see one for each version. Each of them contains his own custom settings to install the registry keys and remove them. And now let's assign that device into the tag. Come into the device, more actions, manage tags, and we assign the 1903, that is the release that this device is running currently. Okay, that's done. Let's jump back to the VM to run. Local machine, software, Microsoft, policy manager, current device, update. You have there the two registry keys that were already created in the moment I applied the tag. The profile was applied to the VM. And let's run Windows Update. This is the update that comes with the system. Let's restart it and then run it again. Jump back into the device. You can see that the profile has been applied to the device. I have here a different device. This one, for example, from yesterday, that you can see that it has no update approve. I could come here and approve them, but also I came here on a company level, select and assign those ones. You can see here that most of them are not assigned. I assign them over the ring in a ring 0. This is a smart group that I created that will be applying those updates into the device that I selected with the tag ring 0. The VM has already restarted. Let me change the view. And now let's check the system. Why is not appearing here? Okay. This is already here. It checked already for the updates. So if we go into the lab, select the VM updates, it's empty. So we can go here, more actions, scan for the operating system updates, and this will appear in a minute. I have here two different VMs that I started already. This is a 1901 that I already updated. You can see that it is showing only updates from 1901, but let's change it. Let's say we want to upgrade that VM. So we come here, more actions, manage tags. We take out the tag from 1901 and we add the tag from the 2004. We save it. It's safe. So we can go into the lab and select the 1901 VM. If you remember, previously it was showing only 1901 updates. In the moment I changed the tag, it added here the new registry key. And that tells the system that he's allowed to update, or at least to see the updates. This profile, if I remember correctly, is in auto approval, so it should be directly running the installs. Here, policy manager, current device, and update. You can see here that now it contains the 2004. So if I come here and the Windows update, let's jump back to the lab. Before jumping to the lab, let's check if the other one has already, is showing already the update. Okay. We have our 1903 here that we scan the updates, and they are showing already here. Okay, it's showing what he's installed already. This is the 1903. It's showing only these updates. I could take this VM and select the ring 0 that contains all the updates that I selected here. Basically, they are all from 1903, a 1903 VM. This one, the accumulative patch, the security patches from Microsoft, .NET, framework, all of them, to approve them so they will get installed. And let's check our 1909. This was already updated to the latest version. And let me open it and move it here. Need to wait a few seconds until it updates completely. It's installing right now. Let's check again the VMs. So our 1903 is installing a security patch. The 1909 is showing no updates for the moment, but it will not be shown here. They will appear on the Workspace ONE, and this is the 20H2 that I created also by jumping from target release to target release. Okay. There we have the updates. You can see them here, all of them. Okay, this is our 1904. As you can see, he's not installing the updates. We have here the feature update, but it's not installing it. Until I do not click here and approve it, it will not be installed. Now I approve the update. If I go back to the VM and check for updates, let's sync also. No, it's already here. You can see that it's pending to download. He will download the update and start installing it. This will take a long time. This update takes around 45 minutes to be installed. That's why I have prepared every VM differently. This host has currently enough space to install that update. So if you do it, it will work and will not fail. But for this purpose, this VM did what she need to do. So let's power them off to save some resources. And let's check a 1909 with not enough space. In the meantime, we can check this is still installing the patches that we force. Okay, you can see this one. I try to install the update. It has also the target release there. It comes from a 1909 and it has Okay, I cannot see my mouse currently. It's things what happened. This VM is not reacting. If we check the space, you will see that has only 8 gig space currently. She now she did not do well to be suspended when installing the update. You can see that has only 8 gig free. That will cause the update to fail when downloading because it has not enough space. We can retrieve and it will show. It should show again here. If you have more space, you for example, 15 gig, it will start installing and it will fail. Let's go back to our 1909. See, still installing, and our 2005 that, if I remember correctly, is synchronized. Yep. Let's go into the lab. So currently we have this VM 20H2 version showing all the updates. It failed to install a couple of them. We can approve them and force them to be installed again if needed. We have our 1909 failed VM that is showing the update here, and he will try to update it again and again, but not having space. That's why you need to check first that you have enough space in there. And or 1903 that we are updating with the updates approved. And or small 1903 clean install that should be showing more updates. And as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward process. It's simply creating a single profile. You can be changing this profile simply, but I created one from each release. You can also create smart groups as I did, selecting each of the profiles is also really easy to do. We have here the Windows 10 profile, 1909. Basically, you can create a new smart group. In my case, I am selecting by tag, so I select the tag that I want, select it here, put a name, and save it. That will apply to any device that has the smart tag that I selected. In this case, I will leave it as it was. And as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward process. It has no complications in order to get this done and working. The most important things are to remember to add the registry keys, because if not, it will not work. So this is really important. Computer, local machine, software, Microsoft, policy manager, current device update. And these two registry keys need to be added before you run Windows Update. If you run Windows Update, you will need to clean up before having this, because the host will start updating and will have those updates in there. And then is manage your rings. You can set 3-4 different rings as you want. And if you have a sensor, you can also perform mass upgrades by changing tags directly into the PCs of your customer. From my side, this was all. James, is pretty straightforward. We can wait until this VM installs, but if anyone has questions, because I don't saw any on the chat, we can discuss this process and the issues that I faced, but most of them were already covered on the presentation.
Thanks, Javier. It seems to be speeding up nicely. Does anyone have any questions at all?
I do not see the QA on the chat here. No.
To be fair, Javier, I think you've made it quite clear. It's a really good session on how it all works. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let's check if the system is already showing the updates, the 1903. This takes a bit, but yeah, now you can see that it's showing all the updates. And if you can see, all of them are approved. Those ones are approved basically because I add the ring tag into the VM. This ring tag that is linked to this update and this update, this and this update. Please remember these three links, basically, or text zone, managing Windows updates 10 with VMware Workspace ONE, the operational tutorial, is a really long post that explains everything, but it does not contain the trick of the 2 registry keys that comes from the Brooks Pepin blog. That contains only the registry key with the target release version. You will need to add also the set provider to 1, and the blog from Mike that shows how to create this profile to add the registry keys into the Windows. You can do it with a sensor. It's also really easy to do. As I said, I prefer to do it this way because I don't have a sensor with Workspace ONE right now. Okay, from my side, this will be running the update, but maybe will take. In fact, we could approve more updates, but then it's pretty straightforward. You can be selecting different things into the lab, into the tags. You select the different tags, and the VM will be showing you the updates after you run the Windows update. You could approve them. It will upgrade to the next version, but you can lock the release of the Windows on that release by doing this. Then, if no one has any question, yeah, from me, it's everything done.
Thank you very much, Javier. Thought that was a really great session. What I'd like to say is that obviously any customers that are watching this recording, please do reach out to your TAMs if you have any questions. Your TAM can reach out to myself, Tina, or Javier on any of this content. And thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.